Stellar's Daniil Dixon recently appeared on Anthony Pompliano's podcast on X to discuss U.S. government involvement with blockchain technology. Now, we all know for years, Stellar's association and influence with the U.S. government always goes overlooked. When it comes to proper stablecoin regulation, number one network in Congress is Stellar. Recently, they've jumped into the world of RWAs, and on that front, I think things are going pretty well also.
And it's been wonderful to have Wall Street be a participant on this. And really, they sort of started to go in like 2 years ago, and now they're all in. Everyone wants to they want to tokenize everything. So tokenization, it's the key word in the United States and also Western Europe. We spend a bunch of time talking with asset managers who are like, how can we tokenize this? What can we do with it? Some of them are on the slower side. Some of them have done it. We've already seen money market funds on Stellar. Franklin Templeton built the first money market fund on any chain, and they started the process in 2019, if you can believe it. So it took them that long to get the SEC to approve it. They now have Benji, which is their the asset. They have it live, not just in the U.S., but also outside the U.S.
And what are they trying to get?
They're trying to
doing this.
So from their standpoint, they've actually been very focused on internal efficiencies.
Okay.
Remember, beforehand, they had lots of databases that they had to like connect and make sure everything was done right. And they had a lot of people who had to spend time doing that. They now have a single source of truth, which is the Stellar network for all of that is their books and records.
Listen, point I'm making is the trading of XLM and the adoption of XLM are not connected. But if the following proves to be true, then I think even traders will not be able to deny Stellar. So, without further ado, let me introduce myself to those that are new. My name is Wade. You're listening to another edition of the DHN Crypto Podcast. I've been in the space since 2019, and I've researched over 1,000 digital assets. The main reason I sit here in front of this camera at this desk is to share all that information with you. And in today's episode, we're going to be breaking down a potential situation for the Stellar network that could change the direction of this market, especially from a utility perspective. Now, before we get into this, I got a couple tokens of appreciation I want to share with you. Number one being, let's hop over to the terminal. DHN Blockchain Starter Kit for 2025. Listen, if you're new to the space, this 3-page PDF will point you in the right direction. I remember my first year, my rookie year in crypto, 2019, 2020. All right. Utter chaos. Okay, so I know what you're going through. That's why I created this PDF. What you'll get is the 5 verticals of blockchain. Typically, everything we have seen come out of the space falls into these 5 categories: enterprise, emerging technologies, gaming, DeFi, and then macro level events. There are applications that address macro level use cases. So you'll be able to identify which networks those are by how they market themselves. Don't worry about that. Then you'll also get the adoption model. This is a visual representation of how blockchain technology is adopted. Using this, it helps you learn how these relationships form and why they matter even faster. In addition to that, you get a criteria for evaluating digital assets on blockchain. Listen, our discussion over here is the technology that powers the new financial system. But if you want to get into meme coins, if you want to get into layer 2s, DeFi, whatever you want, follow these criteria. Because if they don't hit these 4 things, no matter what sector they're in, they're not going to last long. So, outside of that, you get links to various blockchain networks. I added this there so that way you're familiar with what a crypto ecosystem looks like on a daily basis. Organizations to follow, news and analytics sources, things like that. The perfect set of tools to get you started. In addition to that, guys, if you go to the link in the description as well as the pinned comment, you can get your hands on the new financial system master sheet. These are the assets that we will talk about the most on this channel. Longtime viewers, you've come to see this by now. But this new financial system master sheet gives you even more organizations to follow. It gives you key terms to search in association with the networks that you're looking for, the partnerships that they have, the organizations that they are potentially working with, and you'll also discover that these organizations and partners overlap. It's a beautiful thing, this crypto space, guys. So Links to these products will be in the description under the video as well as the pinned comment. So, with all of that out of the way, let's get into the meat of our discussion. Like I said, Stellar's Daniil Dixon appeared on Anthony Pompliano's podcast. They did a full about 40-minute episode. The entire interview is absolutely fantastic, and I'm truly surprised it has not gone viral yet, because some of the things she mentioned were confirmations of relationships that we had been wondering for years. What really blew my mind was how she described their relationship with Franklin Templeton, that little clip that we led this episode with. I remember us reading that there was going to be a process. Franklin Templeton would primarily use their registry to keep all of their accounts on. Stellar would be the backup. But based on how she describes their relationship now, Stellar is no longer the backup. They are the primary. That's massive, ladies and gentlemen. But the first piece here we're going to break down is actually the part of the interview where they got to discussing U.S. government's interest in blockchain technology. I posted this on X, guys. I'm going to roll to the top of this clip here. So that way, we can get the full view of it. But basically, a leaked document came out, I want to say within the last couple of weeks, that suggests the U.S. government wants to incorporate blockchain technology into U.S. aid, right? So when I heard this, of course, I sat back for a little bit, wanted to let all of the pieces come to the board, because if this is the case, this is big. Up to this point, we've mainly dealt with, in the blockchain world, the creation of fancy tokens based off celebrities or based off of popular IPs. We've had wallets created and more on-ramps than we can even imagine. But this would represent blockchain entering into something that's tangible, ladies and gentlemen. A tangible blockchain use case that could be in the hands of people before Christmas. Let's just dive into the clip here so we can get this added perspective.
Yeah, I mean, wouldn't it be nice if you could push a button and have thousands of payments sent at once? It actually is really nice. We see it happening all the time. The technology just allows for that to happen right now. And so I think that,
I'm sorry. We see it happening all the time. I love her personality.
On Stellar, we've built this bulk disbursement platform that you can use for payments. Like, think about like companies who are already using it to pay gig workers globally. So they can like upload all of the transactions and push a button, and then it all goes through instantaneously to their accounts, to their wallets. This is being used all over. And so, and also it's even being used if you don't actually have the receive side wallet yet, because you can just get a text message to say, hey, you have, we've paid you, and just download this wallet and you'll receive it. It's really simple. So I'm so excited about what we're focused on in terms of government efficiency. We just recently saw the other day that the president talked about USAID maybe moving under the State Department, focusing on like really getting foreign aid out and using blockchain to do it. Well, I mean, we've been doing that already for the last 3 years. And so we would love to be able to use the technology for that. So I am really excited to see government focus on this. So
State Department to issue foreign aid. Let's walk down that route, ladies and gentlemen. So March 21st, this is when this story was published. I believe I was taking a little break at this time. Did catch whispers of it though. But in the crypto space, guys, you have to, when you have to look once and read twice. Okay. Look once, read twice, if that makes sense. But leaked memo suggests blockchain overhaul of U.S. aid amid Donald Trump era government changes. The proposed overhaul includes blockchain for a secure, tamper-proof aid distribution system. Now, this immediately called to mind a few months earlier this year. Elon Musk proposed blockchain to be used at Doge for efficiency. This was the discussion where blockchain was supposed to be used to track government spending. So, starting to see a pattern form. And you guys know how I feel about patterns, okay? Patterns lead to behavior. And if the behavior of the U.S. government going forward centers around blockchain, then even if they don't pick Stellar, because we've been wrong before, I'll admit that, this is going to electrify the market. This could give us that extra motivation to end 2025 on a positive note from a price perspective. But this calls back to when Mr. Musk came out and spoke about this. And to the point of issuing foreign aid under the State Department. Well, specifically, Stellar has been doing that very thing, as she said, for the last 3 years in collaboration with the UNHCR. As of today, there are over $5 million dispersed in foreign aid. And where's the majority of that foreign aid going? Ukraine. Again, you guys remember that video I made a couple months back where I showed you the video evidence of the top government officials in Ukraine saying that they're using Stellar technology. Stellar is a Trojan horse for the U.S. government. That's what it really feels like. That's what it really feels like. Over $5 million in aid dispersed, foreign aid. All right. We have a U.S.-based blockchain platform facilitating foreign aid. I'm just saying. Now, like I mentioned, because we've been wrong before, we have missed the target on a couple things. Stellar was bypassed for other platforms, and I get that. I'll acknowledge that. So it would be amateur of us to think Stellar is the only option. So now we naturally have to ask the question, where else have we seen this? That's going to be a fun story. Because the first time I've actually ever seen this was in my first year in crypto. It was with a network called Cello and an application called the Impact Market. As you can see here, microfinance reinvented. Now, originally, this is when I discovered that you could do universal basic income on blockchain. In 2019 and 2020, universal basic income was a very hot topic, especially once the COVID broke out and people were locked in their homes. A lot of discussion. Andrew Yang, for example, talked about universal basic income. I remember Elon Musk discussing the need for a universal basic income. With the rise of artificial intelligence, the conversation is still present because of the jobs that are at risk thanks to the rise of artificial intelligence. So it is a very, very interesting conversation. First time I'm seeing this, though, is 2019 and 2020. Impact market can be broken down like this. Let's say you want to donate $100,000 to a small village in Madagascar. Thanks to Cello's blockchain technology, you can now get together with a group of people, almost forming a DAO of sorts, and you can pull your resources together and send those funds directly to those villagers. Now, the problem with that, and I don't blame Cello for not being capable of managing this leg, was there wasn't a surefire process to guarantee that where your funds were being sent to were actually going to be received and used properly. Fortunately, though, this is when a company by the name of AidTech, working on a network called Algorand, entered the discussion. This was 2023, and AidTech, in collaboration with St. Vincent de Paul out here in the United States, as well as an organization by the name of National Voluntary Organizations Active in Disasters, they collaborated to build AidTech. What makes AidTech so special is their focus on digital identity. That digital identity is a crucial component because, again, like we just learned, there is a possibility for you to gather up all your people, gather up all your funds, pick a particular village that you want to revolutionize, and then you find out that money is actually being sent to some 16-year-old in China. Happens, right? So AidTech decided we're going to focus on the digital ID layer. We're going to use the Algorand network because they have a proven track record with building digital ID technology. The digital IDs create an ecosystem where aid can be dispersed in collaboration with commercial partners, right? Because one of the things that blew my mind about aid tech when I was reading into them, they have it here. We may have to go to the homepage. That was an article. We actually covered that story. Aid tech, in collaboration with FEMA, use the Care Wallet, which runs on Algorand, to aid people who were in those disasters, those hurricanes in Tennessee and Florida, 2023. That's being reported here. But to the point of the commercial partners within your ecosystem, HBAR Foundation is an investor. That's interesting. Amazon, Home Depot, Walmart are listed as commercial partners for aid tech. They are there because in an event of a disaster, a hurricane, your home is damaged. The three companies that are probably the most important would be a grocery store and a hardware store. So that's a smart balance, right? This added a new dimension to the whole humanitarian aid blockchain discussion with the incorporation of the digital ID element, right? So shout out to Algorand for that. And then really, if you want to go even deeper, Algorand has been in the humanitarian game overseas for quite some time. We've covered Hassad Pay before. I remember when it first hit the market, I was so excited because they were building there was video footage of the technology being used. And this was late 2023. We were still coming out of the bear market. Nobody was believing this, right? But Hassad Pay, giving access to the resources for the people of Afghanistan. The problem is 97% of the Afghan population lives below the poverty line. 20 million people, half of the population, are suffering from high levels of food insecurity, according to the UN. There are many people on the brink of starvation, prolonged malnutrition, children struggling to survive. This is a very bad story. But thanks to platforms like Hassad Pay, this allows non-governmental organizations to contribute to help these people. So once again, we have an example where blockchain technology is being used for humanitarian purposes in a very effective way. There has been case studies that have come out recently. We covered them on the channel not too long ago, where Hassad Pay is getting ready to move outside of Afghanistan. Okay, so when we talk about humanitarian aid, it doesn't just have to be in a disaster or a wartime environment. All of this talk honestly made me think about government assistance, because in this research, I stumbled upon a company, and to the point of, Hedera being investors in aid tech, there's a company in their ecosystem called Skux. And what I discovered to be very interesting about Skux, well, not only do they focus on disaster relief themselves, right, running on Hedera, but when you go down to the bottom of the main page of their website, they talk about embed intelligent payments into your business today. And then WIC EBT SNAP programs, embedded cryptographic filtered product list for need assistance programs, stop fraud before payment can be processed. Government disbursements, deliver funds instantly and securely and verify they reach the intended recipients. What Stellar has been doing for the last 3 years, right? There hasn't been an additional word on this yet. But Skux is building their relationship out with Mondelez International. And if you follow Mondelez International's stock chart, oh boy, they've been on fire. They have been on fire recently. Okay? Summertime's coming up, 4th of July. I'm going to get a couple more shares of Mondelez. But I really want to see this hit the table. Because if you're bringing in blockchain technology to potentially track government spending, part of that spending goes towards WIC, EBT, and SNAP programs. There's Hedera's entryway right there. Now, there's another angle to this, guys, that I really want us to understand, because I believe government services will be a huge use for blockchain technology. Like I mentioned earlier, up to this point, we've primarily only had to deal with meme tokens, brand new wallets, and back-end platforms to help support central banks and cross-border remittances, all of which are very beautiful things. But we need the tangible stuff now. We need to be able to go to Walmart, swipe our card, and the payment terminal we use is also connected to a particular blockchain network. Why are we so, like, how much longer before we begin to see this? So I think that's a great point to leave on, because that's actually what I have on my sheets here to end this out. One more thing to consider: what's the medium of exchange? If it's not cash, it's obviously going to be a stable coin. USDC is America's stable coin. All right. Our guy, Commander-in-Chief, he's doing a lot of things. And I'm trying to manage my emotional responses, because a lot of it I don't fully understand. So based off my lack of understanding, I don't want to make an emotional reaction to what's going on. I think the markets think a lot the same. They think the same way, which is why we're just doing this. We're coasting right now until a decision that he makes appears solid to everyone. That's just what it is. Will it work in our favor as blockchain enthusiasts and crypto investors? Optimistically, I'm hoping so. I really am, guys. But if blockchain technology being used for government aid is the next step in this process, well, I can't get mad at that at all, folks. So with that, that's all I got for this one. Let me know your thoughts on this one down in the comments. And while you're at it, don't forget to pick up the Blockmaster ebook. It's everything you need to know about blockchain technology. Real simple, real easy to read. I broke it down to a very rudimentary level because I want as many people to come in and understand this complicated world of blockchain. Because to be quite honest with you, ever since I've gotten involved with crypto and blockchain, my life has never been the same. So next to that, guys, if you want to support the channel, one of our partners is Uphold, and right now they got the best staking outfit in the game. As a matter of fact, this is the only exchange that allows you to store RLUSD, Ripple's flagship stablecoin, and get up to 5% yield on your holdings. You're not getting that anywhere else on the market. Links to Uphold will be in the description under this video, as well as the pinned comment. Now, lastly, Robinhood. I am not an affiliate with Robinhood, but their retirement feature is the smartest financial move I have made ever. So I'm sharing that with you guys. Links to Robinhood will be in the description, as well as the pinned comment. If you use the link in the description, you do get up to $200 worth of free stock. That is something I have been forgetting to say, and it may be a better, stronger selling point than what I've been saying. So with that, guys, again, y'all know I love y'all. And the future of this blockchain technology is fantastic. So y'all know what time it is. If that money is digital, so is the hustle.